Hi Cancer, welcome to your June 2016 love reading. It's Raina here. So, I have this interesting camera angles. I will be holding up the cards to be able to show you them completely. This is the Morgan Greer deck that I have been using since I began doing readings, and I really have bonded with it. And even though I do like the traditional Rider-Waite deck, I had a hard time prying myself away from this deck. So in any case, for the overall energy of June, we have the World card. So this indicates that for some of you, a chapter is ending. And this would be in regards to a current relationship. If those of you who are single are watching this, then I would say this means that you have reached a new level of understanding in terms of love and are able to incorporate that in future relationships. It's the last card of the Major Arcana, so there is this sense of closure. And there's also a sense of victory associated with it. I picked this card for another sign, and someone wrote to me and said, well, I'm glad that I passed the test, because I mentioned that that was one of the interpretations as well. And what that would mean is regarding any kind of relationship that possibly was very troubled, even though you may be ending it, you still are gaining from it. And this means that you have passed the test of being able to take something like an alchemist that is not valuable and turn it into something valuable. And, experience is very valuable in this game called life, because it's what, inspires us and guides us and also informs us. The recent past, which may shed some light on everything, is the Ace of Wands, called the Ace of Rods in this deck, and that's connected with fire energy. So this could have to do with a particular individual. I would say specifically in Aries for you, Cancer, because, I connect the Ace with, since it's the beginning, and Aries is the first fire sign. And I do see a recurring theme of Cancers getting together with Aries. So it could be an Aries for some of you that is the person you're having to end things with. And I would say particularly this would be a long-term relationship. Like a marital situation. For other people, this may just mean that you got a new job. This can indicate getting a new job, and that has ended your cycle as well. Maybe you had to relocate, and that took you away from the person that you were seeing. And it may not be anything negative within the relationship, but it just caused you to have to break ties with that person. But there's definitely, with these first two cards, endings and beginnings. And the beginning happened in the recent past, which caused this ending. So anything that you've initiated, the Ace of Wands can indicate a business, a new business, or a new job, as I say. And this gives you possibly a new lease on life, but it may also mean that your private life has shifted as well. The higher perspective is the Two of Swords, and typically when we see this card, it either means that you're trying to make a decision about something, and it could actually be about two people, or that you and the other person are at an impasse, where you are butting heads and you are not giving in. And this, I feel, could definitely be connected to an Aries individual. because, you know, two cardinal signs clashing is really like two people who both want to be the boss and don't want to give in, because they see giving in as a sign of weakness instead of as something that you must do in a relationship. You know, Cancer people do come across, whether it's a male or a female, as being very nurturing and even as a feminine energy, very kind of yielding. But there's a definite aggressive quality to Cancer that is not always recognized by others right off the bat. And I do see that. And I'm not talking about in terms of their mannerisms. I'm talking about in terms of how they act. They are very action-oriented, and they tend to be very, you know, very much tackling problems head-on, and not just letting them, you know, sweeping them under the rug. But in terms of dealing with other people, it can create a situation where if the other person is also a cardinal sign, there may be two people trying to wrestle the controls. And, you know, it can create a bit of drama at times when that happens. The energy that is kind of below the surface, possibly crossing you, possibly just influencing you on a subtle level, is the Page of Cups. This could relate to a child, actually, particularly a child who is very sensitive. And if, let's say, you are a parent who has been having an affair, and let's say that you are kind of going between two people and you can't decide between two people. And it's possible that one person's an air sign and one person's a fire sign. That one person is either a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or the other person's either an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. But you are thinking of your child now, and you're realizing, maybe you'll say, you know what, I'm not going to go with either one of them because my child comes first. For other people, this may mean that you're just thinking of your child in terms of an impending divorce, and you're wondering how that's going to impact your child, especially the one that is very sensitive and takes things to heart very easily. But this could definitely be the person. It could be a person who is behind the scenes, who is kind of, I said to Libra, or what was the sign I just did? The sign, whatever sign I just did, Sagittarius, I said somebody behind the scenes. So for you, this could be like a water sign individual, or somebody who has that energy of being very dreamy, maybe a little bit psychic, or creative, maybe naive. If there's somebody in your circle, maybe it's somebody at work, but it could literally be a Cancer or Scorpio or Pisces individual. It's funny that this card depicts it with a fish jumping out, so that would associate it with Pisces. And Pisces people do tend to come across as naive and you know, and gullible about, you know, what other people tell them. But this could also be in the reverse position if it's crossing you. So it would be more of an energy of a rebellious child, a child that's having difficulties and is maybe acting out because their home life is very sad, or, you know, a lot of conflict in it. Or it could be a person that you're not dealing with directly, but maybe it's somebody who is in your past who wants to get back together with you. That's always a possibility as well. And they're kind of waiting in the wings, so to speak. The energy which supports you at this time is the Queen of Wands, and this is the energy of being very enthusiastic about life and being very assertive, not kind of being, the damsel in distress, but being a very cheerful person. And I see this emphasized, and I feel that it's very important because, Cancer, you're a very serious sign, I feel like overall. Even though some of the great comedians are Cancers, there's a definite tendency of Cancer to take things very seriously, and you have to, and sometimes having trouble laughing at yourself. And so this is the energy of really having that confidence and positive attitude, which is very attractive to other people. And you think about the word attractive, it means that you attract to you. So it's on all levels, it's a very good type of situation. And adopting this, because you will have this energy at your fingertips. And I was thinking about it, and at the end of June, the sun goes into your sign, and so this gives you that sense of vitality, and maybe that will kind of make it more likely that you will feel revitalized to the point where you will be in a consistently good mood, and the world will be your oyster, because at the time of one's birthday, that's really a high point, because it's a new cycle, and it's and maybe that's where the World card comes in. Maybe it's like the beginning of June. You have these plants in the 12th house, and then everything starts again, and it's a new cycle begins. And then the advice is the Judgment card, and this is the card right before the World card, and it's a card of rebirth. And so I think one thing that I would definitely say about it is to really embrace the idea of any thing that ends right now is not to kind of cling to, keeping it going. Because if it's meant to leave, then it means that whatever comes in its wake will be much better. And the Judgment card is all about, rising from the ashes. And I also think that this can relate to a judgment in terms of the legal profession. So maybe, as I said earlier, some of you are going through divorce proceedings, or you're going to, at the very least, have some initiation in that area. And maybe that relates to the Page of Cups and the Child. Maybe you're going through some deliberations on who gets what, and custody issues and things like that. And it's what I wanted to just basically say, though, with the Judgment card is, though, I feel like you're going to come out of it feeling a lot lighter. And then on July 4th, you're going to have a new moon in your sign. That'll be your new moon. So that's, continuing on with the rebirth. And the outcome is the Four of Swords. This is my spa day card, but I just say that in a frivolous way, because it's actually not just about chilling. It's about really healing, recuperating, but there's it's not just on the surface. I think it's really recharging your batteries, but spiritually based, not just physically based, because in the Rider-Waite deck, the person is lying down, but they're in a church setting. So there's a spiritual connection to it that I feel should always be emphasized. And it's more of a solitary card. It's more about going within. Because it's a Four of Swords, I feel like this also kind of lays a foundation for you in the future to kind of learn how to manage stress better, maybe through meditation, because this is kind of like a card of meditation. But I do feel like there's more of a physical component in terms of the healing, rather than like a card of the Hermit or anything like that. But it's a respite from everything that has happened, because it probably will be a very eventful month for you, and the energy will probably kind of increase as it gets closer to your birthday. So particularly that last week. So Cancer, obviously this is a general reading. If you would like something personalized, please click on the link below, and otherwise have a great June. Bye.